Hello and welcome to a new episode of Dinks with Kinks. Before we get started tonight, I want to remind everyone that we are in fact on that social media. So you can find us on the Twitter, the Instagram, and the Facebook at Dinks with Kinks. I am one of your wonderful... Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, tonight's gonna be one of those nights. I already...
Oh yeah, we're getting into it tonight. I am one of your hosts, John Dondero, and with me, as always, the lovely Miss Rebecca.
Hello.
And the always infuriating Mr. Shep. I'm going to get into it tonight.
Good evening.
Oh, none of that.
So, me and Mr. Shep played some pummel party last night, and I'm still hot about it. I'm hot.
Are you
I'm
hot?
about it.
Well, of course you're hot because you took it to the face a few
just
times.
use lube.
That's how you like it.
Yeah.
I hate it in the face. I'm like, no.
Yeah, just come on my ass and call me Susie.
Like that video I sent you guys, you know,
So tonight
Yes.
Tonight is all about secrets and lies and secrets and characters,
Not
secrets
secrets.
and lies.
Not secrets. Role play.
Role playing.
Roles. That's not a lie.
Not the roles we play in life.
the roll in that beautiful bean footage.
And we're not talking about like, you know, your average, oh, hey, I just want to be a little schoolgirl tonight. I'm going to dress in a schoolgirl. We're talking about extreme role playing. Like I'm talking you are method acting, you are Christian Belling this experience and you sexually get off.
Christian Bailing, huh?
Like when
Is that
he,
where we
that
are?
guy gets into a role.
That's
like when he role plays a good punter.
yeah.
Yeah, or Jared Leto. Oh no, wait, Jared Leto, the guy who played the Joker. Jared Leto. We're really method acting tonight. We're getting into it. We are getting into hardcore role play.
A masturbator he is, but not a cunning linguist. He is not.
Oh, I am not a cunning.
Oh, that's where we're at today, folks. That's where we're
Shep,
at
I'm hot.
today.
I'm hot, Shep. I'm coming for you. It's coming.
No, he's coming on you, Shep.
How about
I'm coming to
no?
you, Shep. I'm coming to you.
Okay, so
Yeah,
role
we're talking
play.
about role play tonight. Have you guys ever done role play? Mm-hmm. Like, and I'm not talking like I've dressed in a little costume, but actually like played out scenarios role play.
Like Dungeons
Yes.
and Dragons role play? What?
Yeah, you know what? We could go with Dungeons and Dragons, but in the bedroom. There's genitalia involved in this role play.
I mean, isn't there genitalia involved in all role play? Because
No,
is there
every
not?
role play character I've ever done is the never nude.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
let's ask
okay.
the more serious question there. Could you consider the dom and sub relationship a role play? Or are you thinking more in depth?
No, because I believe that sub and dom relationships are who you really are. A role play is creating a character that is vastly different than who you are as a person. If we're really going to get into what role play is as a fetish, it is essentially living the lie. You are acting. You are actively going against who you naturally are and betraying somebody else.
Not necessarily. No, in the role plays, it's not necessarily going against who you naturally are. It is the part of you that you can't freely express.
Oh, you know what? I'll agree with that. And when we're talking about role play, like really getting into it, there are many reasons to play a role. Sometimes you're playing a role just because you really get off on living that lie, or out of necessity, like you have to portray somebody else to protect either your loved ones, your job, your just personal life, very much like Batman. And I can tell you right now in this podcast, someone may in fact be playing that role. Now I don't
Shep.
want to say anything, but
But to answer your question, the answer would be no. I've never really done so. I've never had such a imaginative or crafty mind, unfortunately.
see, I have to admit something on this podcast. Tonight, I'm coming out. My name is not actually John Dondera, but it's Mike Krasimski. I have
You
been
didn't
playing
say your
this
last
role.
name right, so no.
No, you're right. I botched it. I am, in fact.
That was
Krasimski. I said my name right.
good.
Krasimski.
Just put a little drink in your mouth and then try to say it right. Brzezinski.
Listen, let's do it. One,
That's so hot,
2,
John.
3.
Fail.
Expositionalism. No, I'm
Hello, folks.
I want to call somebody out on this podcast tonight. Somebody here is living a lie, and they have been portraying a character that is not who they really are.
But it's not really defined as role play, because it's not in
I
his
think
bedroom.
it is. I think. Well, you don't know where
For
I'm recording
gratification.
from. And I know for a fact they are recording from a bedroom.
For bedroom gratification. Hello.
Hello.
So, but you know what? I'll let them reveal who they really are, Shep, over the course of tonight's episode.
I just think role play at this level, not so much as the whole I'm going to dress up like a schoolgirl, like the costume, like the slutty whatever. It is that whole being able to take a part of yourself, and it's that it's like almost like vor in that aspect. It's like you are taking yourself out and you are becoming somebody else, and that's you and relieving yourself of the
That's so much
responsibility.
more, but like
Does that make
transformation.
sense? Transformation,
Yeah,
that's
like-
it. So it's like transformation. It's relieving yourself of that responsibility of this is what you're into, this is what you like, this is what you're going to do, but it doesn't necessarily
Or from a fetish sense, perhaps in their
separate.
professional lives and something like that. That's where they actually wear the masks. Whereas the fetish itself allows them to be who they truly feel they are. And that's where they get the gratification from.
Yes.
Absolutely. And we're going to cover that, and then we're also going to cover the people who really get off on, and like I did some research into this, and there's
As you
actually
should.
fetish. Oh, of course, I'm the research guy. I do all the looking ups and a lot of porn watching, and
Mainly
Not just
the porn
porn.
watching.
As long as it's up this skirt.
not just porn. But I was watching an episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where they were pretending to be somebody else, and one of the main characters, Dennis, they were lying, and it wasn't a sexual thing, but he was like getting so into it, and at the end, when they were really getting called out, he looked like he was physically getting off, and they asked, "Why are you doing this?" He's like, "You idiot! To get off." He was getting off on lying. Like, it wasn't so much he was playing a character, but he was getting off on the fact that he was convincing other people of his lie. And I think when we're talking about role playing, it's not just releasing who you are on the inside, and
You mean
kind
on
of being
not
able
just
to,
releasing who you are on the outside? I mean, onto someone else?
it is, and one of these kinks is like getting off on the lie, getting off being so convincing that your partner or the audience that you're portraying believes you are who you say they are.
Make me a believer.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks.
Stop choking on the air over
that
there.
I know. I'm like. I mean, think about when you lie. Like, think about when you lie. or when you are like when you were a kid and you were lying and you were getting away with it. Think about that high.
It is.
Like you ever like that high? And I can see where that is like a thing. Like that really gets you off. It's like that high, that intense I am getting away with it, and that adrenaline rush. It's all about adrenaline, and
There is
I can see that.
absolutely a causation between adrenaline rush and sexuality. I mean, if you look back at other fetishes like CNC or
OPP?
expositionism, no, when you're having sex in public, it's not so much being watched; it's not being caught, getting away with it, and that adrenaline really, triggers all the endorphins that also trigger, the sexual gratification behind it. So,
I can see that.
oh yeah.
Have you ever role played, John?
I mean, I play a role all the time.
Yeah.
I'm multiple people. As far as like, I've always this is one of those things I've never gotten to do, but I've always wanted to. Like, it is on my bucket list. I've always wanted to be with somebody where we could like fully role play and just lose ourselves in characters and go out and do that. I have always wanted to do that.
But instead, he's been poor, neglected Kaczynski.
I'm just poor old Mike Krasinski.
Who can't even say his last name right.
You don't tell me how to say my last name. It's my last name, damn it. It's whatever I say it is.
I think role playing's fun. I think it's a lot of fun. So.
But
you
would you
ever
consider
really-
yourself... well, you go ahead, sir.
Oh, I was like, have you ever considered yourself like a role player, like somebody who kind of loses themselves in a role, Miss Rebecca?
Yes, I can 100% say I have lost myself in a role more than once. How about once or twice a week?
Were you the princess in the castle and Mario comes to rescue you in the bed?
No one comes to rescue me. I can rescue myself.
Oh. I can do it myself. Look, I can toss my own salad. I mean, what?
I mean, I think to a degree we all play roles. I mean, I feel like if Anna Arugs was here, she would have a lot to say on the point of like playing a part. And if you guys are not familiar, Miss Anna Arugs is our host of another podcast that I star on with some other people.
Oh, I love how you become the star of that. I love how that's how that.
I didn't say I was the sole star. I
But
star on with the person
that's
who
more
likes
of
to play a patrol.
a superficial masking of oneself. But that
Absolutely.
still doesn't go into the realm of the role play that we speak of now.
No, isn't
This
that
is
right?
more
Arugs?
true fetish and true lifestyle.
I think role playing as a fetish and as a kink, it's like I said, it is taking your, and maybe it's sort of a lie in that you can't be 100% honest. Maybe it's where you are in life. Maybe where it is you are in a relationship that you can't be 100% honest, or whatever it is. It is one of those, you're allowing whatever it is. You can pretend to be a hooker from Trenton and be that, and that's hot. And you can be whoever and do whatever as long as it isn't hurting anyone and you have consent. You can do and be whoever you want to be, and at the end of the night you go back to being the person that you live every day. And it's not saying that it's a separate person, it is just a role that you play.
Yeah. It's a character. Like, I often play Don Darrow on a lot of the podcasts we do, or a lot of the content outside of this podcast. I am a little more zany, a little more crazier, and I know I'm pretty crazy on this podcast, but I'm usually not the doing the research,
How is it?
knowing what's happening.
How is it on your other podcast? You get more naked than you do on this one.
Because he knows I would probably not be on this podcast if he did.
Yeah.
And
I know
how
for
is
a
it neither
fact.
one of you have gotten naked on this podcast? Let's talk about that.
All right. I mean, if we're really going to play this Arugs,
I mean,
Rebecca.
Hello, everyone.
The worst kept secret, I think, in Dondero streams is, and for those of you who don't follow both sites, Dondero streams and Dinks with Kinks, for the longest time, Miss Rebecca has used a pseudonym, well, not even a pseudonym, an alias for this podcast due to employment restrictions.
Employment restrictions. And now I am newly employed, and I can now play this role without being secretive about it.
But
So
I'm going to be real honest. I think we're always going to refer to you as Rebecca.
I
Because
think I would
that
prefer
is-
to be Rebecca. I think I would prefer. I think for Dinks with Kinks, I would prefer to play that role. I mean,
And
that's your inner you, your non-professional
Yeah.
you.
a non-professional me, the one that likes leather and corsets and high heels and all sorts of nutty things.
yeah, and I really appreciate that. The one thing we were talking about, like earlier today, I was in kind of a quote unquote production meeting, and we were talking about like the roles we play in content. And this is a podcast that necessarily doesn't have the same audience as our parent company, Dondero Streams, which all three of us are affiliated with.
Yes.
Being I am Dondero. Shep is often on a Blue Skirt Boy crew, and
Yes.
Arugs host the Weebs and Dweebs and Interweebs podcast, and does all our merch. So,
And I'm also
in
on
that sh-
Dundera 101, and
I wasn't naming all the content because I am also in Donderoing 101.
Hey, you're the one that was starring in it, so you know what? I'm going to step up. It's fine. Rubes is out to play now.
That's
I'm
it,
just
Miss
kidding.
Rebecca.
Shep in my little
Okay,
world
Shep.
of Dinks with Kinks.
I think
All right,
Shep is
Shep.
the only person. No, here's the thing: is between us three, Shep is the only person who's always been Shep.
Mm-hmm.
He's always been exactly who he is and true to it.
But Shep is not his name.
Shep is
No.
a nickname that was given to me many, many years ago. Not a
why-
moniker, not a hider, or anything else.
But why was it giving it to you? Why was it giving it? Why?
Shep,
Because
were
I
you
always took
because
care of my flock, literally.
Shep is short for shepherd, and he's always been a shepherd. Much like he is in this podcast, he does kind of look over. And
It was a
give
name
his
I was never
insights.
given, or not a name I gave myself. It was a name I was given by everyone else.
I think roleplay is hot. I think other than the Rebecca thing, honestly, Rebecca sort of was just the name I put on the person that I am that separates who I am sexually versus who I am in real life. And that, like, Rebecca can be and do anything, and it's freaking hot. Like, she's fearless.
I mean,
Absolutely.
a shepherd sounds good on you too, but I mean, you're still Rebecca.
And I think that's a big difference. Like Shepherd, even though that is not his real name, it was never a character he played. That was who he really was. So even, and may I use your real name, your first name?
It's so boring and common.
My name is John.
I'm Anna. I got 2 letters in my name.
All right. So, like I said, John Dondero, like I roleplay more on the Dondero streams than I do on this actual podcast. This podcast is actually who I am really. Like I am John Dondero. And Rebecca has always been who you want to be, but couldn't be out in public. And
Yes.
Shep has
That's
always
who
been
I
a
am
shepherd.
in public. Yeah,
Yeah.
many of my friends and some people, all the
But
non-corporate coworker people always call me Shep or
yeah.
Shepherd.
His corporate friends and his close family call him Ryan. And every time they say it, I'm like, who? Even in public events, because I've never considered that a pseudonym. I've never considered that a stage name or a alias. He has always been Shep. That has always been
Shep.
presented
You're
as
Shep.
who he is. And boy, is he giving me that stink eye.
Ah.
Because he will always be Shep. Outside of the podcast, outside of any stream content, when it's just me and him by ourselves, he will still always be Shep. He's the only one here not playing a role.
Speaking of role playing, all right, we all know Rebecca is my sexual persona. Okay, and Rebecca will be the co-host of Dings with Kings. Like, we all know. So now we know, like, we've married the two, but Rebecca's here to stay.
Yeah.
If you were to, yes, John, you play Dondero, but sexually, you had a partner and you're like, let's role play. What would be the scenario that you would want to role play?
Honestly, I love the Dondero character. I love the chaos. Like, mischievous. That is my sexual gratification right there. Is the in control, pulling the strings, answers to no one, chaos. Like, where when you're out, when you're inside the little bubble, all you see is chaos, but you're actually in this very well planned out cage.
Yes,
of,
but
like,
what are you
submission.
doing with that? Since we know that you're a Dom and we know, so what is Dondero doing in that?
Unpredictability. Like, and I don't mean like that you just don't know what's going to happen. Like, you know, like, oh, I'm panicked because I don't know what's happening. There's no plan. But the what's the really smart word? The spontaneity of it. Like, I did not anticipate having my heels in the air with a face in my crotch. Spontaneity of chaos. Like, I thought I was going to be, you know, servicing, but suddenly now I'm being serviced, but I'm still not in control. Does that make sense?
In other words, he's not the real role player fetish type. So
No, I am, but like, I've never gotten to do it. I've never gotten to be like full role play, so I don't even know. I'd have to have a partner for it.
Okay, well, before we move on to this discussion, Shep, what about you? What is this whole, what if you were to play a role? If you had a partner and said, I want to, tonight, I don't want to be us. I want to be something else, and you have to choose. What would you be?
well, so that was why I've never been into the role-playing fetish and such, because I am almost 100% logic brain, so creativity and immersing myself in different situations, scenarios, and all that is very difficult for someone like myself.
So would it be better for you, say your partner is into this fetish, for them to go, I want you to be this? Would it be easier for you to pretend to be that person, or that's just not something that you are like?
It would be easier for them
you?
to allow or enable them to be in a role that they wanted.
Gotcha. Because role playing, you're
this.
right. Role playing's not for everyone.
Yeah. And I will say this: in every aspect that I know Shep, he has always been exactly what he is, supportive. When we video game, he's usually like, so we play this game called 7 Days to Die. And yes, we do. And all of us do. even though Shep is a very dominant person in the bedroom, his dominance has always been a cornerstone of support. Like in his domination, it's always been like, how can I facilitate the situation that you feel the safest and the most comfortable? So he's always played that role of support. He's never had to outside that box. And I think that role facilitates any persona except submissive, which is not who Shep is. So he doesn't want to step into that area.
No.
Am I wrong?
Oh, no. It's
Did I peg some
definitely
holes?
not possible for me to be in the submissive stance, no.
I can't see Shep as a sub. I can't. Like, it doesn't. I can't. It's like I'm sitting here trying to imagine him as a sub, and like if we were role playing, like I want to, like I can't see it. It's impossible for me to see that.
And it's not because it's because when Shep is what I call the true dom.
Yes.
It's not someone who actively tries to be dominant, but it's just somebody who fits it so naturally that it doesn't require you to envision it. If that makes sense.
I don't think that this fetish.
I love Shep is just like, I don't know what to say here.
I think this fetish, just like, and we have to just, for John and I, it is very easy for us to be like, we're really into role play. Like we can put ourselves, because we've done acting, we've done characters, we are very imaginative, creative people, and that would really, like, we would really get into that. But people like Shep, there are people who listen to this podcast who are like Shep, and that it's just like, that's not their thing, and that's okay. It's not that easy. And I think it's like, oh, well, it's easy, you just pretend. It's really not. And people aren't into it. They're like, I don't want to pretend to be somebody else because I'm comfortable with who I am. And that's hot too. And I think that needs to be.
Absolutely.
That's to, and I think for me, that's a more like as the sub, I'm like, when you know who you are, yes, please.
Absolutely. Like, I will say, there is no more dominating position than knowing exactly who you are and owning every second.
And not wanting to be anyone else. And that's, yeah.
So, Shep, I know you go, well, I'm just not the creative type. No, you just know exactly who you are.
That's why, yeah.
Everyone else, a lot of times when people get real into role playing, and we're going to go into like kind of the mentality behind it.
Yes, I know.
And
who
where
I am.
this,
I'm the one with the empty glass and sad about it.
It's that night, folks. Buckle up.
Poor Shep. Sorry, I was just quenching my thirst here. With this role play, a lot of times it can be you get off on it because you don't feel comfortable being who you are, or you don't know exactly who you are. Like, this is still a path of self-discovery.
And and the third aspect is others dwell in the role play because they dislike who they are.
Absolutely. I don't like who I have become or who
they have to be in their professional or outside lives.
And so I want to portray this person. And it may be, and that falls in the category of, I know who I want to be, but I can't be this person. So I don't like who I have to be, so let me be this person. And
I'm sorry you can't be me, John, so you just have to be John.
I know, I can't. I will never be a Shep. I know, but I just can't get into it. I'll try,
such as furries and transformation and clowns. And it's not this, like, the role play is just its own thing. It is very much leads into.
No.
It is. You actually get to become who you feel that you really are.
Oh, best description I can give you. It's the outlet fetish. This is the outlet fetish. It's not a bridge fetish. It's not a, like, let's conjoin these fetishes. It is the fetish that lets me have my fetishes. It lets me be
It's the
who I
permission
want
fetish.
to be. Ooh, I like it. The permission fetish. Very awesome. So, with a lot of the fetishes we do the would you will, but I think we've pretty much well established. Would we, could we, are we? Yeah. Would we, could we, are we?
Well, no.
Between the three of us.
Rebecca was just a name to hide for safety's sake. So
Yeah.
we still
True,
haven't
true.
covered if you would you and want you.
Yeah.
Miss Rebecca.
Miss Rebecca. Outside of the persona you play here,
I am.
would this be
into
something
it.
that you
I
would really get
think
into?
Other than this, I have a very active imagination, and I am very into. I am try it once, see what happens type of person, and I think I would. I think I really, really would. I think it would be fun. Just to, who would I be?
Then who would you be?
Yeah. Who would you want to be?
Or not who.
Like, I'm pretty sure
but-
you would
but
try. Yeah, what? Because I'm sure you would try anything anybody ever asked
I
you.
had to pick.
But
Like
if you had
a
to
whole scenario, like a role play scenario.
pick, what would you find the
I'm
hottest?
thinking the long pauses. I'm thinking, audience. I know. I realize you can't see my face.
What would
Because-
excite you?
Yeah. No.
So while
honestly,
she's
because-
thinking, John, how about yourself? While she thinks of this
Oh,
question.
I think I already answered this. I wanted to be like, if in the bedroom, I would kind of want to be the more chaotic Dondero, the more sporadic wildness. But it really
but
becomes
that's more of a state of mind. That's not really like a role definition, though.
oh, the
like
college
Loki.
professor,
See, there you go.
college professor or Loki, because just saying.
That was hot. Sorry if you're
Either
listening to this
Sylvie
and haven't seen
or
it. Nah, spoilers.
because I would do either or 100%.
But okay, I figured it out.
Yeah.
I feel like I would,
Yeah.
with my partner, I would really like that whole getting picked up. I'm getting that whole strangers getting picked up, no
Strangers?
emotional attachments, just you're hot, I'm hot, let's have a conversation, get really flirty, and then just see what happens type of situation. And yeah, I think that's just the whole
Yeah.
or let's see how turned on we can get each other without actually like touching each other. Like that whole stranger conversation where you get like all, you know what that
yeah.
whole
I mean, challenge accepted. I mean,
Yeah. Actually, honestly, something that would be really hot to role play is very impersonal. Like, usually I like, I am typically in my normal life, I'm very like together, we're dominant, submissive. There's a lot of aftercare and there's a lot of comfort there. And I don't want necessarily in CNC, consensual non-consent, but like both parties are like,
yeah,
this is just not fun. I don't give a shit about you
yeah,
as a person. I just want to get my rocks off.
yeah.
That would be a fun thing to play. Yeah, like I am out for me. Not that I am taking. We're both willingly giving, because I'm really not into CNC.
The
But,
very
we're both
Netflix
just,
and chill.
into this. We're both very consensual, but we don't
Or
care
as they
about
say,
one another.
the pump
we
and
only
dump.
care about getting off.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I did. That made me think of it.
the pump and. Did you get that? Did you get that TikTok I sent you?
I think because it's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
expectation
the pump and dump.
at
Not the
at
in your
our
bum
age. We
meet your
talked about how
mom,
old we are at
but
our
the,
age to be committed to have that one person all the time. It has to involve all of these emotions. And sometimes it's just hot too, even if the person you're with or and participating with this is your long-term partner, pretending that it's just like you're just out to get off, and that's all that matters. It does, like, I don't care that you put the dishes in the sink dirty, and I don't care that you whatever. Tonight we're just about hot fucking, and that's hot. Chef's face.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
being anonymous. Meeting at a club.
Chef's like
hooking
all
up.
about
I don't
fucking in
know
the
you, but we're
bathroom
gonna
right now.
fuck in the bathroom. Yeah, 100% for that.
As long as we're
Not
fucking
saying
in the
I've done
bathroom.
that in one of our events, Shep.
I
Shep's like,
mean,
well, I mean,
there can be some extra dirty levels there.
all right. So I think that really covers it for this episode. I'm a little hot and bothered from this episode. I really got in tonight. I'm a flustered.
So-
I'm into it.
I guess we're
This is
lucky
my
the
official
pants game is
debut.
known.
My official coming out.
Absolutely. Thank God this is an audio podcast.
I already knew.
I know. And to be honest, most
Yeah,
of
so
our
they don't
audience, the majority of our audience doesn't watch,
okay.
either already knew or doesn't watch Dondura's streams
thanks, Chef.
to
Thanks,
even
Chef.
have that second guess. They're like, oh, okay.
I mean, I don't, so I
That's
wouldn't
not
know.
okay.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Guys, we only have 8 things left on our wheel. We need to. That is not okay. We need to start. We need to refresh
so many
that
things
wheel
we haven't talked
and get some new
about.
things on it. But I'm going to go ahead and spin the 8 things that we have left on our wheel to see what we're talking about next week. Because, and the one thing oh, absolutely. I'm not saying we're running out of fetishes. I just want to get through, like, before I add stuff to the wheel, I like to get through the wheel. Kind of cover everything we have on it.
What is?
So we don't just keep missing a really popular subject.
Would you eat cereal from
Or
my
a
crotch
really
like that?
insane subject.
Like role play as a cereal bowl.
Oh,
I
yes.
mean, there's that.
I mean, if you want to role play as my cereal bowl, I mean, I wouldn't say no.
Listen. Do you have
That'd be
gas?
some, that'd be some happy O's.
This is like a real. This
I
is a real
feel
thing.
like-
Are we having
I
sex
feel like
directly
on
afterwards?
some people,
or
not
is this my
me, but on
breakfast
some
meal?
people,
Because
there would
those
be
are two
curdling
very
in-
different conversations. Yeah, I'm just like, I'm not about that if I have to go to work. If this is the breakfast I gotta eat before I go
Oh,
to
that's
work,
right.
I'm
My
not
big
about
belly
that.
button. There's his old
Lord
hole
help
right
me,
there.
Lord help me if you lean
No.
back and it seeps down into the belly button.
If this
No,
is
you just
no,
need-
if this is a yeah, listen, we
All
don't need the crotch role play there. We can just
Spit it.
I mean,
run it out
we
the
do,
belly
Spit
button.
hard.
but
Yeah. All right,
Y'all,
guys, let's see what
we
we're doing
are
next
a little
week.
bit much
Spinning that wheel.
tonight. We would like to. I'd like to apologize.
there's some Velma role play.
Oh, I like it. All right, guys. So next week, let's really get in. Let's be mature about this.
No.
No.
We really have to go.
You know what?
And
You know
look
what's ironic
at
about this? Go
What
ahead,
ages
tell us
we
what we're
are
doing.
and what ages we
No,
portray.
just tell us what we're doing. No,
But,
double take.
Next
Are we
week,
doing ageism? Ageism?
What? No, go ahead. You tell. Yeah. We are actually not doing age. We're not doing age play.
Yes, and
mainly
we're not
because
going
I
to
didn't want
mention
to cover
that.
age play because that borders the line of something that I consider very immoral. Next week, no, but next week we're getting a little old with it. I like to play on here that we're old fogies, but next week we're going to talk about the level above that. We're talking about the mature fetish, the cougar fetish.
Cougar Town.
We're going with some milk
Ironic about
And
that.
so Gamif.
Ironic is that I watched.
and Gadil.
I'm binging
Maybe a
Brickleberry
little
on
dilfs.
Hulu, and one of the characters is
All right,
really
all right.
in to like older ladies, like in their 70s, 80s, 90s, like hardcore. And I was like, we haven't covered that yet. Like I literally thought that this morning. The wheel knew.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. The Will knew, and so next week we're being real mature about our subject, and we're talking about the mature fetish, the cougar fetish, the older attraction. So we'll probably, we will cover some age play in that aspect, but we're gonna be heading in the higher
My
levels.
ultimate
instead of the
life
lower
goal
levels.
Downtown
is to
Cougar
still
Town.
want is to
Downtown
still have
Cougar
people
Town.
want to have sex
Cougar
with me
Town,
when I'm
Cougar
in my
Town,
70s.
Cougar Town.
That's my life goal.
There is no way. I am on a ticking clock, guys. I think I've already passed that prime. I'm not getting any better at this, and my looks are going downhill quickly. There's no way
Floggers
I'm
only
making.
get better with age.
Yeah. Shep can pull the mature.
Is he still alive?
Me, I'm literally just becoming an old Johnny Knoxville. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they just filmed a Jackass movie.
Another one?
And he looks like oh god, what's the girl from Halloween? Does the no, that's Alien.
Oh, speaking of curdled
She does
milk.
the yogurt that makes you regular. Shit.
Oh,
Let's not go to yogurt land.
yogurt is aged milk.
Yeah. Next week, I am curdled milk. You are a fine wine.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
And
And
not
Shep-
getting too cheesy,
Shep-
though.
Miss Rebecca,
Is a
you
good
will age like
brandy.
fine wine.
A good
I am aging like milk.
brandy.
Yeah. No, he's cheese. Because
You
he
call
was
him
milk, but he's
cheese.
turned into
I'm
the
over
most
here calling him like
elegant,
brandy,
tasty
like
cheese, the
fine
fancy
whiskey.
shit.
No,
I am the. Nope. You're a fine wine. Shep is a very
okay.
a
So for all of
beautifully
our
aged cheddar. And
our
I am
listeners
the
who
milk you
listen
forgot
on a
to put in the
daily basis,
fridge.
we would like to apologize that we didn't necessarily address really role play as it should have, but we were having fun with it today. So stick with us. Yeah, we didn't do safety.
Are you
didn't
saying
do
we
Are
really
there any
role-played this
cautions with
episode?
roleplay?
No. Have fun with it. Don't get arrested. Listen,
That would've been
don't
important.
get
We did
play
arrested.
our part.
Yeah. No, we role played this episode. We did this episode justice. We played our parts.
Because you can roleplay a kidnapping. Because some people enjoy that kind of thing.
That, if you want to know about
Yeah,
role
you're
playing
right.
kidnapping, go listen to the
we have-
CNC episode.
So in case you wanted to know,
We're talking
folks,
about
this
this
is who we
episode
really
is all
are.
about lies,
We don't really have our
secrets and
shit
lies,
together.
and we covered secrets and lies. We role played. We played our
So
parts.
follow us on social
So
media.
shut up, cheese.
And we
Fine
will
wine, take us
see
outta
you
here.
next week. I am Rebecca /Arooks, and we'll. and
I'm
John,
Milk.
take it away.
Guys, follow us on social media at Dinks with Kinks on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I have been one of your hosts, John Undera. With me, as always, even the slightly annoyed but ever dominant Mr. Shep.
Till next time, unfortunately.
Oh, I know. I told you yesterday when we were playing this game, you gotta deal with me tomorrow. The very lovely, the ever-changing Miss Rebecca.
Good
And
evening.
peeking naked kitty.
Naked Potato Cat.
Naked potato.
Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for listening.